Good Sunday morning. Friends, sorry my voice is a little weird. I have been sick. That's why you haven't seen me for a few days. Still not feeling great. But I'm better today, which leads me to making some soup because I think I need it. My stomach's still a little wah, wah, wah. So Thursday evening, I wasn't here. So you haven't seen me since, I think, Wednesday. Thursday evening, Mason's best friends found some morel mushrooms and asked if I would cook them. So I said, sure, come over Thursday night for dinner and I will fix your mushrooms. So I fried some and then I sauteed some with onions and butter because I grilled ribeyes. And then we had green beans and I made them Caesar salad. So they were super happy. And I was feeling fine Thursday night. Friday morning, I woke up. I wasn't feeling really great. And then by Friday night, I was feeling really bad. And then Saturday, I couldn't go to work because I was feeling rough. Now, I was able to sleep from 4:30 to 7:30 this morning. So that sleep definitely helped me feel a little bit better. But like I said, I'm not 100%, but I want some soup. So let's get to it. This is going to be a low carb keto recipe, but you can easily turn this into carnivore. And as I go along, I'll tell you how. So because my stomach's still a little wishy-washy, I'm going to use ground chicken. You could use ground beef, whatever. We're going to make some meatballs. And I guess I should tell you what soup we're making. We are making a chicken meatball and cabbage soup. And I just thought that sounded so good. Hadn't had much of an appetite, so this sounds good. So here I have 2 pounds, these are 1 pound containers of ground chicken. Alicia, I got my pan. Thank you for sending those right on time. I'm just gonna mix this right in my baking dish. Now, you could fry these or you can bake them. I'm going to bake them because I don't feel like standing and frying all these meatballs. Just gotta do what I gotta do, friends. All right, so we've got the 2 pounds of our ground chicken here. We're gonna add, this is just some all-purpose seasoning. Let's scoot these over. All-purpose seasoning, it has everything in it. Season those up well. I'm gonna do a little bit of parsley. And I'm gonna do, this is a half of a chopped onion. Now, you can leave the onion out. If you're doing carnivore and you don't want to add it, that's fine. I'm going to do a cup. I think I want to start, just go for it. Cup of mozzarella cheese. And I'm going to do half a cup of pork rind panko crumbs. And I forgot my eggs. Krista, be right back. Eggs. I thought I was doing so well. How's everybody been since I've seen you last? I hope you're doing well. The weather's been gorgeous here. Now, it got cold last night. Again, but not too terribly. All right, I've got that and a splash of Worcestershire. I'm just going to say, I don't know, tablespoon maybe, and you can also leave that out. All right, and there we have it. Now I'm just going to get in here. I want to bust these eggs up first, and I'm just going to get in here and I'm just going to mix this right in my baking pan. My boys, Mason and Brock, found some more morel mushrooms. So I've got a whole fridge full. I think this is the most we've ever found. We never usually have this good of luck. But boy, I tell you what, I'll show you later. We got a big bowl of them. All right. Get this all mixed around here. Kept this And I'm going to take this off really quickly just because I want to add a little bit more seasoning. Get that mixed in. There we go. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to pinch this off to one side. I'm going to grab the chicken and I'm just going to roll a meatball right here in the same pan. Don't have to dirty up another pan. Can't get any simpler than that. I have my oven preheated to 375. Now, like I said, if you wanted to, you could fry these in some butter or some bacon grease or whatever you're using. I want these more bite-sized. I know they're going to shrink some when I cook them. All right, so I'm going to continue to roll these, and I will come back when I'm done. So here they are, all the meatballs. Now, like I said, you could use beef, pork, chicken combination. You could use lamb if you wanted to, whatever you want to do. And technically, you wouldn't even need to make them into meatballs. You could just scramble it up in the skillet and then add it to the soup later. But we're going to do a little something special here. So we're going to make them into meatballs. 375 oven. Let me throw these in really quickly. I think I'm going to set the timer for about 25 minutes. They don't have to be cooked completely through because we're going to add them later to the soup and they'll simmer and finish cooking in the soup. So we're going to let those go. I'm going to finish cleaning up my space here and I'll be back in a little bit. So let the meatballs go 30 minutes because they weren't quite firm enough yet. So here they are after 30 minutes. There they are. They're hot, so I'm going to let them continue to cool and firm up even longer before we start the actual soup part. So the meatballs have cooled. I put those in the fridge till I need those later. I have one head of cabbage here. I've chopped. Now, it's been months and months and months since I've had cabbage, so I'm interested to see how I fare with that. But I really wanted some hearty soup with not feeling good. So inside of my beautiful pot here, I have a spoonful of bacon grease. Just like, you know, this spoon here. I'm going to wilt my cabbage a little bit before I make it into soup. So, as any good hillbilly would do, I added some bacon grease. So you could add some bacon if you wanted to, or, you know, beef tallow, whatever you would like to use. But I suggest bacon grease. So, I'm just going to take this, hopefully without making a mess, and add it to the pot. I lost a couple. All right. Not too bad. All right. Let's give that a stir. Can you hear it sizzling? I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Just about a half a cup right now. I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to give that a good stir. And then I'm going to put my lid on and let that cook down a little bit till it's nice and tender. So like I've said, I've been adding a salad occasionally to my meat, and I've occasionally added some green beans, and honestly, I've not had any reaction. I've not had any stomach issues with the salad. I am eating romaine, so that makes a difference. And I've been eating just plain salads. Sometimes I put a little bit of cheese on there, but mostly it's just romaine and some salad dressing that I made up, some of my own ranch dressing. So I'm not having issues with it. So this will be the first time that I have tried cabbage. Now there's going to be a very small amount of veg that I will add back to my diet just to see how I do. It's not going to be something that I do every day. Still eating high protein. But I'm interested now that I've been doing this for several months to see what I can add in. And I'm making sure that I am staying under 20 grams of carbohydrates per day. Not per meal, per whole day. And that is not subtracting the fiber. So I'm doing the total grams of carbohydrates without subtracting the fiber and making sure they're 20. Okay. All right, I'm going to give this a simmer and then I'll be right back. So I've given the cabbage about 15 minutes to kind of cook down a little bit and wilt. Now I'm just going to add some pepper. And I'm going to add some Aleppo pepper. Now, not too much because my stomach is still a little wonky, but I want a little bit of heat. Maybe that'll help my stuffed up runny nose situation here. There we go. One side of my nose is stuffed, the other side's runny. You know how that goes. It's awful. Oh, all right. Give that a quick stir. Looking good. Now I've got 48 ounces of chicken broth. You can use whatever you want. I had some homemade, but I ate it, drank it. That really helped with my cold here. Or whatever I have going on. Okay, we're going to get all that in there. Two hours later, as they say on SpongeBob. All right, we've got all of our broth in there. All right. Now, I'm going to let this continue to cook and get that cabbage nice and soft. For me personally, I have to have the cabbage really soft to eat it with my diverticulitis. In the past, you know, that's how I always had to eat it. All right. So, just going to let that go for a few more minutes, and we'll be back. I'll turn my heat down just a tad. Okay, so my cabbage is nice and soft. You can cook your cabbage as soft as you like it. And if you're making this carnivore, just leave out the cabbage and add your broth. Also, if you have no restrictions, I think maybe even some rice would be great in this, or some cauliflower rice too, or not. So I just added 8 ounces more of chicken broth. So that makes it 56 ounces of chicken broth. I want a little bit more broth because y'all know I'm not feeling good. I want that soup part. So now is the time that I'm going to add my meatballs back in. Or add them in, not back in. They were never in to begin with. All right, get them in there. Let me get this done and I will come back. You don't need to watch me do all the boring stuff. So we've got all of the meatballs in with the cabbage and the broth. So I'm going to get all of this great stuff out of the bottom of this pan. There's a little bit of cheese, a little bit of chicken broth from where the chicken cooked. I'm going to get all of that yumminess out of the pan and into the soup. There we go. And at this point, all we have to do is just let those meatballs get warm, and then we can have us a nice big bowl of soup. I cannot tell you how excited I am to have this. It looks so good. I'm going to put the lid on. turn the heat back up, and I'm gonna give it about 5 or 10 minutes to all come together. All right, friends, soup's on. I got me a couple of meatballs here, and quite a bit of broth, and some of that cabbage. Oh, let's give it a try. I've been waiting all day on this. Oh, that's so good. Just what Dr. Krista ordered. Delicious. Well, I thank you as always for hanging out with me in my kitchen. Hope you make this. Now, there's so many alternatives. You can make it without the cabbage for complete carnivore, or add some other vegetables. I'm giving you a base and you can run with it in your kitchen. All right. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. If you're new here, like and subscribe and hang out with us. We have a lot of fun. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.